This video contains spoilers for Crime Scene Cleaner. Watch at your own discretion. With the upcoming release of the Crime Scene Cleaner Act 2, I thought it'd be nice to analyze a subtle detail that many don't catch. Today we will be analyzing Kowalski's voice lines and how the progression of them throughout the game paints a story of Kowalski's mental state. Nightmare mode also contributes to the player's understanding of how the jobs affect Kowalski, but I will be focusing on the voice lines. To be able to understand the following, we will need to understand his backstory. In Crime Scene Cleaner, you play as Kowalski, a school janitor whose daughter fell extremely ill and requires expensive medical treatment. To help fund the medical care, Kowalski begins to take up jobs for serial killers, hackers, drug dealers, and mafiosos, in which he covers up their crimes, making sure it won't be traced back. Now that you know his backstory, you can start to understand his voice lines throughout the game and the type of picture they form. In early missions, you can see he finds all of the gruesome displays repulsive to a degree and even holds a level of resentment for the clients he is working for and many of their sadistic and needlessly brutal methods.
All work, no play. Goddamn.
In later missions, you can see that he makes more jokes and quips when disposing of bodies or collecting evidence.
That was a bold move.
Humor is a well-known coping mechanism, which theoretical papers go back to 1928 in an essay by Sigmund Freud, who, despite his other interesting theories, he was onto something with his link between humor and coping, although it would not be until the 1980s that a scientifically significant link would be determined by two revolutionary studies, one in 1983 by Rod A. Martin and another in 1986 by Herbert M. Lefcourt. Both provide strong evidence for humor being a coping mechanism, and the studies that have been done and continue to be done to this day have only strengthened the connection between the two. I recommend reading the studies and books as they are very interesting. But enough with the lesson on psychology. This should be enough to prove a real-life connection between the two, which would be the idea the developers had when creating this subtle storyline told throughout what most view as simple throwaway lines. Not only does this near subliminal writing add realism, it makes Kowalski more relatable to the player and creates a layered character through a genius style of writing. You may think I'm glazing the game a bit, but think about it. Very few games, especially indie games, use this style of mini-storytelling. Not only do these small lines show a psychological coping mechanism, they also show how one becomes desensitized to violence over time. This has been seen in soldiers, children exposed to war, along with first responders. In conclusion, this often overlooked detail adds depth to the story of Kowalski that most players never even realize. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like and maybe a sub if you're feeling generous. Until next time.